You might think all vegetables are good for you, but the truth is, for seniors, some can do more harm than good. In fact, there are 3 common vegetables sitting in kitchens all across America right now that could quietly be making you sicker, weaker, and older before your time. And the scary part, most doctors never warn you about them. So stay with me, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what those vegetables are. And I'll also reveal 3 other vegetables that can help protect your joints, your memory, and even your heart as you age. But before we dive in, I want to make this personal. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from right now? Is it sunny in Florida? Cool and breezy in Oregon? Maybe you're in the middle of a hot Texas afternoon? What time is it where you are? Morning coffee time? Evening wind down? And here's my favorite question. How young are you at heart? Are you 62 going on 40? Maybe 78 but still feel like 25 inside? I want to hear from you. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I recently had a conversation that honestly shook me. My neighbor, Betty, she's 74, walks every morning, eats healthy. And as sharp as a tack, came to me complaining about joint pain that seemed to get worse every week. She told me she'd been eating more vegetables than ever because she read it was the secret to staying young. When we looked at what she was eating, I realized one of her healthy favorites was actually causing inflammation and making her joints ache more. And Betty isn't alone. I've heard the same story from so many seniors trying to do the right thing, loading up on veggies, but accidentally eating the ones that can spike blood sugar, raise blood pressure, or even interfere with medications. See, our bodies aren't the same at 70 as they were at 30. The digestive system slows down. The kidneys and liver work a little harder, and some foods just hit differently. That's why today is so important. I don't want you or anyone you love to keep unknowingly feeding your body the wrong fuel. Because if you can avoid these 3 harmful vegetables and replace them with the right ones, you can protect your energy, your mobility, and even add years of quality living. So let's start peeling back the truth. You know, we've all grown up hearing the same thing. Eat your vegetables. They're good for you. Parents said it, doctors repeated it, even TV commercials drilled it into our heads, and for the most part, that's true. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody told us. Once you hit your 60s and beyond, your body isn't playing by the same rules anymore. See, younger bodies can handle certain plant chemicals, oxalates, lectins, and natural sugars much more easily. But as we age, our systems become more sensitive. The digestive tract slows down, our stomach acid levels change, our kidneys and liver are no longer working at full factory speed. That means certain vegetables? Yes. Even the healthy ones can start causing real trouble. Some can inflame your joints, making arthritis flare-ups worse. Some can quietly drive your blood sugar up, which is dangerous if you're managing diabetes or pre-diabetes. Others can interfere with blood thinners or blood pressure medication, which puts you at serious risk without you even realizing it. And here's the part that really bothers me. Many of these vegetables are actually pushed in healthy senior diet plans and sold as if they're the holy grail of nutrition. They're in those glossy magazine recipes. They're in the ready-made meal kits. They're even the star of the salad bar at your favorite buffet. I remember talking to Mr. Harris, 81 years old, sharp as a whip, who swore by his super healthy salad for lunch every day. He made it a point to load his plate with greens and veggies, but he kept feeling dizzy, had sudden drops in blood pressure, and his doctor couldn't figure out why. When we went through his meals, it turned out one of his daily vegetables was actually working against his heart medication. That little lunch habit could have put him in the hospital. This is why knowledge is power. Especially after 60, you don't just need to know what's healthy in general. You need to know what's healthy for your body at this stage in life. And when it comes to vegetables, the line between helping you and hurting you can be thinner than you think. So let's start with the first vegetable you should never touch if you're over 60. It's in grocery stores everywhere. It's on millions of dinner tables tonight. And for many seniors, it's slowly doing more harm than good. The first vegetable on our never touch list for seniors is one you've probably had in the past week. You might even have some in your fridge right now, sitting in a plastic bag or a crisp produce drawer. It's spinach. Now, I can hear the gasp already. Wait, spinach. Popeye's favorite food? The leafy green that's supposed to make you strong? Yes, that very same spinach. Here's the thing. Spinach can be a powerhouse of vitamins. For younger people with perfect kidney function and no certain health risks, but for many seniors, it's a silent troublemaker. Spinach is loaded with oxalates, natural compounds that in your body can bind to calcium and form kidney stones. And kidney stones aren't just painful, they can lead to infections, hospital stays, and even long-term kidney damage. But that's not the only danger. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, spinach's very high vitamin K content can throw off your medication balance. That means your blood might not clot properly when you need it to, or worse, it could clot when you don't want it to, raising your risk of stroke or heart attack. Betty, the same neighbor I mentioned earlier, had been adding fresh spinach to her smoothies every single morning. She thought she was doing something wonderful for her bones and energy. But over a few months, her blood thinner levels became unstable. Her doctor had to run extra tests, adjust her medication, and warn her that her healthy breakfast could have caused a dangerous clot. She was stunned, and if you think that's rare, it's not. Many seniors are unknowingly walking into the same trap. They read about spinach being superfood of the year in magazines, or they see younger influencers showing off green smoothies online, and they don't realize that what works for a 28-year-old marathon runner may not work for a 72-year-old with a heart history. Now, I'm not saying spinach is poison for everyone over 60, but if you have kidney issues, a history of stones, or you're on certain medications, that innocent pile of greens can become a dangerous habit. And the worst part, you won't feel the damage right away. It builds silently until the day it strikes. That's why this first vegetable earns a spot on the never touch list for so many seniors. There are safer greens you can enjoy that give you the benefits without the risks. We'll talk about them later. But first, let's move on to the second vegetable you should think twice about. One that might be making your blood pressure and joint pain worse every time you eat it. Asterisk, the second vegetable on this list might surprise you, because it's not leafy, it's not exotic. It's probably been on your dinner plate since childhood. In fact, many of us grew up thinking it was one of the safest side dishes you could serve your family. I'm talking about canned beets. Now, before you think, but beets are natural. They come from the ground. They're healthy. Let's break this down. Yes, fresh beets in small amounts can be a source of antioxidants. But for many seniors, especially in the way beets are often sold in America, they're a blood pressure disaster waiting to happen. Canned beets are usually packed in brine loaded with sodium. One small serving can have more salt than an entire bag of potato chips. For a senior with high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney issues, that kind of sodium hit can cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure, swelling in the ankles and feet, and put extra strain on the heart. And here's the thing, you might not even taste how salty they are because the natural sweetness of the beet masks it. And there's another hidden risk. Beets are naturally high in nitrates. Nitrates can sometimes help open blood vessels. But when you combine high nitrates with certain medications, especially for blood pressure or heart disease, it can cause dizziness, fainting, or sudden drops in blood pressure. I've seen this happen more than once. Take Mr. Johnson, for example. He's 79, lives alone, and tries to keep his meals simple. A few times a week, he'd open a can of beets, toss them on his salad, and think nothing of it. But one afternoon, after lunch, he stood up from his chair, got lightheaded, and blacked out. When his daughter took him to the ER, they discovered his blood pressure had plummeted. Between his medication and the heavy dose of nitrates and sodium from those beets, his body simply couldn't handle it. The doctors told him he wasn't the first case they'd seen like that. The combination of healthy vegetables and senior medication can be like mixing fire and gasoline, harmless until they meet, and then suddenly dangerous. This is why I tell my viewers, if you love beets, fine, but skip the canned ones and eat fresh ones in small, carefully measured amounts, especially if you're on heart or blood pressure medication. And for some seniors, especially those with unstable readings, it might be safer to avoid them altogether. Because here's the truth. One vegetable, eaten the wrong way, can undo weeks of good habits. And the next vegetable we're about to talk about, it's even more shocking because it's in almost every healthy eating guide. And yet it can be absolute misery for seniors with certain conditions. The third vegetable on our never-touch list is one that shows up at backyard barbecues, in pasta sauces, and in those colorful summer salads everyone loves. It's the humble tomato now. Before you throw your hands up and say, "You've got to be kidding me," hear me out. I'm not saying every single person over 60 needs to banish tomatoes forever, but for many seniors, tomatoes are a hidden trigger for pain, stiffness, and digestive trouble. Tomatoes belong to a family of plants called nightshades, which also includes potatoes, peppers, and eggplants. These vegetables contain a compound called solanine. While harmless to many people, solanine can trigger inflammation in those who are sensitive, especially seniors dealing with arthritis, gout, or chronic joint pain. Flare up overnight? I learned this the hard way with my Aunt Carol. She's 68, loves cooking, and makes her famous homemade spaghetti sauce at least once a week. But over the years, she noticed her hands would get puffy and sore the day after pasta night. She blamed it on getting older until she went on an elimination diet and cut out tomatoes for 2 weeks. Her pain dropped dramatically. First time she added them back in? Bam, the swelling came roaring back within 24 hours. And there's another wrinkle. Tomatoes are naturally acidic. For seniors who struggle with acid reflux, GERD, or stomach ulcers, that acid can irritate the digestive tract, leading to burning discomfort, nighttime coughing, and even damage to the esophagus over time. Many seniors chalk up their heartburn to too much coffee or spicy food, when in reality, their daily dose of tomato juice or marinara sauce is quietly to blame. Now, some seniors can still enjoy small amounts of tomatoes without issues. But for those with arthritis, gout, or acid reflux, tomatoes can be like adding gasoline to an already smoldering fire. And the worst part? Because the effects aren't instant for everyone, you might not connect your symptoms to that healthy salad you had 2 days ago. This is why I always say pay attention to your body's signals. If you feel more pain, more stiffness, or more heartburn after eating tomatoes, don't ignore it. Your body is trying to tell you something. Now that we've covered the 3 vegetables, you should think twice about spinach, canned beets, and tomatoes. It's time to turn the page. Because while the wrong vegetables can age you faster, the right vegetables can actually help roll back the clock on your health. In the next part, we'll talk about why some vegetables are true senior superfoods, and how just a few servings a week can make a noticeable difference in your energy, your memory, and even your mood. We've just talked about 3 vegetables that can quietly chip away at your health, but I don't want you to walk away feeling afraid of food. Because here's the truth. Nature also gives us vegetables that can be absolute game changers for seniors. These aren't just good for you in a vague, general way. They are targeted allies for your body as it ages, helping to protect your heart, sharpen your memory, keep your joints flexible, and even steady your mood. See, as we get older, our bodies face a different set of challenges. Inflammation builds more easily, blood sugar spikes hit harder, muscles weaken faster. The immune system can get sluggish, making it harder to fight off illness. But the right vegetables can help counteract these changes, giving your body the tools it needs to repair, defend, and energize itself naturally. I think about my friend Harold, who's 76 and used to feel wiped out by mid-afternoon. He'd nap almost every day, and when he was awake, he'd complain about brain fog, forgetting small things, losing his train of thought mid-sentence. His doctor was starting to talk about mild cognitive decline, but Harold made one simple change. He started eating one of these senior superfoods every morning, cooked simply with a little olive oil. Within a month, he noticed his energy lasted longer. 2 months in, his mind felt sharper, and he even got back into his woodworking hobby. The thing is, these superfoods aren't rare or expensive. You don't need to hunt down some exotic vegetable from across the world. You can find them in your regular grocery store, maybe even growing in your own backyard. And they work because they're rich in specific vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that directly target age-related issues. And unlike the never-touch vegetables we just talked about, this won't interfere with common senior medications. They won't sneak in high amounts of sodium or irritate your joints. Instead, they can calm inflammation, support healthy digestion, and help keep your blood sugar stable. So, in the next part, I'm going to reveal the first vegetable on the Must-eat list one that's been shown to protect the brain. Keep your arteries flexible and even lower your risk of certain age-related diseases. And the best part? It's inexpensive, easy to cook, and tastes good in almost anything. The first vegetable on the must-eat list might look a little like spinach at first glance. But it's actually much safer for seniors, and in some ways, it's even more powerful. I'm talking about kale now. I know kale gets a lot of hype in health magazines. But here's the thing. There's a good reason for it, especially for folks over 60. Kale is packed with vitamin C, vitamin A, and calcium. But here's the key difference from spinach. It's much lower in oxalates. It means it gives your bones and joints the minerals they need without the high risk of forming kidney stones. And it gets better. Kale is loaded with antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthine, two nutrients that are like natural sunglasses for your eyes. They help protect against macular degeneration, which is one of the leading causes of vision loss in seniors. It also contains compounds that support brain health, helping keep your memory sharper for longer. My friend Doris is living proof of what kale can do. She's 72, retired from teaching, and had been feeling run down for years. Her daughter convinced her to swap out the spinach in her salads for kale. At first, she complained it was too tough and too bitter. But once she started chopping it finely and massaging it with a little olive oil and lemon juice, she actually liked it. Within weeks, she noticed her digestion felt smoother. Her energy stayed steady all day. And this is the part that really surprised her. Her eye doctor told her the early signs of macular degeneration hadn't gotten any worse. Kale also has a nice bonus for anyone watching their blood sugar. It's high in fiber, which helps slow the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. That means fewer spikes and crashes, which can keep your energy and mood more stable. And unlike some of the problem vegetables we talked about earlier, kale doesn't interfere with most common senior medications. It's a vegetable you can eat regularly without worrying about it turning against you. If you're new to kale, start small. Toss a handful into soups, mix it into scrambled eggs, or blend it into a smoothie with a little pineapple to cut the bitterness. The more you use it, the more you'll notice how versatile it is. In the next part, we're going to talk about a vegetable that doesn't just support your body, it actively fights inflammation, helps your heart, and can even keep your skin looking healthier. Here's the kicker. Most seniors completely overlook it. The second vegetable on the must-eat list is one that rarely makes the headlines, but it's quietly one of the most powerful anti-aging foods you can put on your plate. It's the humble Brussels sprout. Now I can almost hear some of you groaning, "Oh no, not Brussels sprouts." I hated those as a kid, but here's the thing. If you've only ever had them boiled into mush, you've never tasted what Brussels sprouts can really do. When cooked right, they're delicious, and for seniors, they're like a tiny green shield for your body. Brussels sprouts are part of the cruciferous vegetable family, right alongside broccoli and cauliflower. They're rich in vitamin K, vitamin C, and folate, but what makes them special is their high concentration of glucosinolates. These are natural plant compounds that help your body detoxify itself, reduce inflammation, and even protect against certain cancers. And for seniors, here's why that matters. Chronic inflammation is at the root of so many age-related issues. Arthritis, heart disease, memory decline, even some skin problems. By adding Brussels sprouts to your diet a few times a week, you can help calm that inflammation and give your immune system a fighting chance. I remember meeting Helen, a 69-year-old grandmother who had battled swollen joints for years. She didn't want to keep taking more and more pain pills, so she looked for a natural way to help her body heal. Her nutritionist suggested she try roasted Brussels sprouts twice a week. Within a month, she noticed less morning stiffness. Her digestion improved, and even her skin seemed to have more color and life to it. The fiber in Brussels sprouts is also a big win for seniors. It feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which not only helps with digestion, but also supports your immune system and mood. Yes, your gut health can actually influence how you feel emotionally, something a lot of people don't realize. If you've avoided Brussels sprouts because of bad childhood memories, give them another chance. Try slicing them in half, tossing them in olive oil, adding a little garlic, and roasting them until they're crispy. You might be shocked at how good they taste. in the next part. We're going to finish the must-eat list with a vegetable that's not green at all. In fact, it's bright orange. And it's one of the most powerful protectors of your eyes, your skin, and even your immune system. The third vegetable on the must-eat list isn't green at all. It's a worm. It's golden orange, and it's sweet enough that you might not even think of it as a vegetable. I'm talking about sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are one of the best all-around health boosters for seniors. They're packed with beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A, essential for eye health, especially for protecting against aculated macular degeneration. They're also rich in vitamin C, which supports your immune system, and potassium, which helps keep your blood pressure in check. But here's why they're extra special for older. Sweet potatoes are a low glycemic food. That means they raise your blood sugar much more slowly than regular potatoes or other starchy foods. For seniors dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, this is huge. You get the satisfaction of a hearty, filling vegetable without sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. I'll never forget talking to George. 82 years old and still working part-time as a school bus driver. He told me he used to eat white potatoes almost every night. But after his doctor warned him about his rising blood sugar, he switched to baked sweet potatoes 3 times a week. Within a few months, his numbers improved. His energy stayed more stable throughout the day. And this one surprised him. He noticed his skin didn't get as dry in the winter. That's the beta-carotene and vitamin C at work. It's nourishing the skin from the inside out. Sweet potatoes are also full of fiber, which helps keep digestion regular and supports gut health, something most seniors can benefit from. They're naturally sweet. They can even help curb cravings for sugary snacks, making it easier to keep your overall diet healthy. The best part? They're incredibly versatile. You can bake them, mash them, roast them, or even cut them into wedges. For a healthy fries alternative, just skip drowning them in marshmallows and brown sugar. They're sweet enough on their own. By adding sweet potatoes to your weekly meals, you're not just eating something tasty, you're giving your body a tool to fight aging from the tea. Inside out, now that we've covered all 3 must-eat vegetables, kale, Brussels sprouts, and sweet potatoes, let's wrap everything up with a quick recap. A reminder of the vegetables you should avoid, and a final call to action that could help you or someone you love live healthier, longer, and stronger. All right, let's bring it all together. We've covered a lot today, and if you've been taking mental notes, you already know that the vegetables you choose can either be your body's best friend or its silent enemy. We started with the 3 vegetables many seniors should think twice about: spinach loaded with oxalates and vitamin K that can interfere with your medication or your kidneys, canned beets, sneaky sodium bombs with nitrate risks that can cause dangerous blood pressure drops, and tomatoes, nightshade troublemakers that can inflame your joints or stir up acid reflux. Then we turn the page to the 3 vegetables you should absolutely welcome into your kitchen. Kale, a joint-friendly, apoplectic green that fuels your brain. Brussels sprouts, inflammation-fighting little powerhouses that help your heart and immune system. And sweet potatoes, sweet, nourishing, and gentle on your blood sugar while protecting your eyes and skin. This isn't about fear for the sake of fear. It's about awareness. Because the truth is, once you're over 60, you can't just eat the way you did at 30 and expect the same results. Your body has changed, and so should your plate. The right vegetables can make you feel lighter, stronger, and more energetic. The wrong ones can slowly rob you of your mobility, your sharpness, your independence. If you take just one thing away from this video, let it be this: pay attention to how you feel after you eat certain vegetables. Your body will tell you what's helping and what's hurting if you listen. And now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? How old are you? And which of these vegetables are you going to add or remove from your meals this week? Have you noticed certain veggies making you feel worse or better? Share your story in the comments, because it might just help someone else. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more senior health tips, and share it with a friend or family member who might be unknowingly eating one of those never-touch vegetables. Remember, your health is your most valuable possession. Guard it, nourish it, and keep fighting for it, because you deserve to feel good, no matter your age.